Hello, I'm Tom from Gear for Music and I'm joined today by Dr. Chris from Casio.
Hi Tom.
And we're going to help you choose your perfect Casiotone keyboard. Lots of Casiotone models out there now, so there's certainly a lot that you can see around us. So it's obviously easy to look at the differences, but what are the similarities?
Well, the similarities are that, first and foremost, they've all got 61 keys. They all have built-in speakers. And now they will all connect to a iPad or a computer. And that's really popular because, over the last couple of years, certainly we've seen a massive growth in people that are buying a keyboard to use with a music app. So now all the Casio CTS keyboards will do that. They will all connect.
And you can easily take them about as well. They're all portable or battery powered. So you can actually take the app, take the piano and go anywhere and create music.
Anywhere you like. So they're really lightweight. They all come with a music rest as well in the box. Run on batteries, as you say, 6 AA batteries. Gives you many hours of playing without needing to plug into a wall socket. They're great for taking around wherever it might be. If you're going on holiday somewhere, you want to take your music with you, or if you're writing music somewhere, there is a CTS for you.
Fantastic. So with so many different models on the market, so where's best to start? So who's best looking at which model?
Well, I thought we could start at let's start at the entry level. So if we go for the CTS 100.
So this is basically the base model of the range, isn't it?
Yep, where we start. Yeah, absolutely. And it's really great for beginners if you're looking for your first keyboard. The CTS 100 is a great choice. It's very easy to use. You can see we've got some coloured buttons there for our often used sounds: piano, piano, organ, that type of thing. So very simple to use. Has a USB connection on the back, so if you want to use it with an app, you can do. It has automatic accompaniments, so drum beats that follow your playing and give you extra sounds when you're playing. For someone that wants to buy something and they don't want it too complicated, just want to switch it on, plug in and start, it's a great choice.
So you can get a lot of sound out of it, press the button, play your key, so you can get a great sound pretty much straight away.
Absolutely.
I mean, it is really quite lightweight, really quite portable. It's got a nice little carry handle here as well, and obviously there's the battery power as well, so I could basically lift this up, take it off and play.
Absolutely, anywhere you like.
Fantastic. Okay, so now I've got the CTS 200, so it's pretty much similar by the looks of it. So why would someone go from the 100 to the 200?
Yeah, it is similar. I suppose the main difference is it now has a screen, and the reason we put the screen on there is because there are a lot more sounds. So I think from memory there's hundreds of different sounds. And we've also got a jog wheel, which makes selecting those sounds really easy. We've also got things such as a sustain pedal connection on the back. So if you want to maybe experiment with playing a bit of piano in that sort of style, then a sustain pedal connection is pretty much essential. And also the CTS 200 will work with Casio's own Music Space app, which is a really great app for learning to play. So the CTS 200 will do that as well.
So it's a great little step-up keyboard from the 100, so people can start getting a little bit more serious, but you've still got the easy functionality, just with a few more sounds and the connectivity to the app.
More sounds, more drum rhythms, basically, more choice.
Fantastic. So I've got the 300 here, so it does sort of feel a little bit heavier actually. It's got a similar chassis, but I think there's a bit more going on underneath, isn't there?
There is, absolutely. Well, the main difference is something that you can't really see, but if you were to play the keys, you would feel a difference, because the CTS 300 is the first keyboard that Casio do that's touch sensitive. Now, touch sensitive keyboards are really, really important. If you're thinking about learning to play a keyboard and playing it what I would call piano style, or maybe you're looking for a keyboard with maybe future plans to maybe progress onto a full-size piano if you want to do that. The 300 is a great first step in that, because basically touch-sensitive keys react to how hard you play them. And it's really something that a pianist needs to learn to manage and to do to be able to create the right effect when they're playing.
So you can really sort of get the expression across in your playing, and it's that sort of great sort of step up for a more serious player who's really wanting to get into developing that technique.
Yeah, if you have ambitions to play the piano one day, and maybe you're looking for a keyboard that will help you get into learning music and your first steps, the CTS 300, of course, it's a lot smaller than a regular piano, but it has the same sort of key touch and feel. So you can start to develop a piano style on the CTS 300.
And obviously thinking about the connectivity to the apps as well, so that will really help drive on that journey, won't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We've got some nice additions as well. We've got a pitch bend wheel on this one. So a pitch bend wheel is good if you want to use, again, the keyboard with a software synthesizer on your computer or something like that. Pitch bend wheel is pretty much an essential item for that, because it gives you a lot more control.
So again, great if you want to plug into the computer and use it as more of a MIDI keyboard controller.
Absolutely, absolutely.
This one's looking a bit more like a serious model, the S400. So is that sort of bit of a different chassis to it, isn't it? So to me, it looks a bit more like the CTS one with the sort of speaker panel here as well.
Yep.
And it's sort of got the sort of carry handle on the back, so it's sort of a little bit heavier, so it has changed the appearance. So is that a bit more of a serious keyboard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big upgrade. You're right, a big step up from the CTS 300. So the CTS 400 is pretty much an entirely different keyboard, really. We've changed what we call the sound engine, so that basically the quality of the sound is a big improvement. So things like pianos, string sounds, they're a lot more detailed and a lot more expressive. The speakers, again, upgraded. We've now got what we call a bass reflex speaker system in it, which means that you get a much fuller, wider sound when you sit and play. It's more satisfying to play because the sound is deeper and fuller. The screen is bigger, it's backlit, so it means it's much easier to see. And that's before we've taken all the things inside it into account. So we've got a lot more sounds. You've got a 5-track recorder. So if you're into creating your own music, you probably like the fact that you can layer lots of different musical elements together to make one big song. Lots of other things like a surround sound mode for the speakers. We've also got the facility to save your own settings, your favorite settings, as registrations. So registrations are pretty much like a screenshot of all the keyboard settings in one go. Now that's good if you're looking for a keyboard maybe to study music with, if you're doing a keyboard exam, for example, where you have to change the sound of the keyboard fairly quickly. Registrations give you that facility to go from one sound setting to another with literally one press of a button.
So if you're sort of looking at singing songwriting to that extent, so it'd be good to record the sounds there.
Yep.
You've got a lot more built in, as say you can sort of do the recording on there as well. So it certainly sounds to me like more of a singer-songwriter sort of keyboard, as well as being able to recall a lot of the settings. So it'd be quite handy for being on stage, or as you say, for exams. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think if you're into writing your own music and being creative, again, we've upgraded the sound quality, but also the number of sounds has improved as well. You can layer 2 sounds together as well, and that's important because you couldn't do that with the earlier CTS keyboards. So layering basically means that you can take 2 sounds and put them over the top of each other when you're playing, and you can do things like change the volumes between the 2. You've got a lot more fine control over the sound you produce. So next we have the CTS 500, and to look at it, you'd say, well, I can see there's a few things here that are very different. We've got live controllers on the CTS 500. Now these are really great because if you are a gigging musician or a songwriter or producer, you know that being able to manipulate sounds and control the sounds as you feel inspired is really important. And with other keyboards, you might have lots of lovely tones to play with, but you can't do anything with them. So with this keyboard, you can manipulate the sound pretty much as you want with these.
So instead of going through a DAW on stage or something like that and manipulating it there, you've actually got all the settings here to manipulate yourself.
You've got all the settings and you can change pretty much any element of the sound you like. We've also got lots more sounds on the CTS 500 than our lower models. We've got Bluetooth audio as well, and Bluetooth MIDI with the dongle that's included. So that's great if you do use backing tracks are stored on an iPad or any device that's got Bluetooth. You can basically use this keyboard as a Bluetooth speaker and play along to it, which is fantastic. We've also got active DSPs on here, and that's something which is really good if you are a studio musician. Essentially, you can use the effects on here, of which there are loads, to, again, create your own sounds. And of course, once you've created some sounds, you can save them very, very quickly with the registration buttons.
And then thinking of the sounds as well, you've got the AIX chip in here as well, haven't you? So those sounds that you are going to be tweaking are already that sort of step up, that improved quality, aren't they?
Yeah. So you're moving now into sort of synthesizer category with the quality of the sounds.
So looking more sort of towards synthesizer workstation, sort of where does it quite fit in with that?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot on here that I'd say is sort of definitely in workstation category. But one of the great things though about this that not all workstations have is built-in speakers. And it's quite nice if you're out on the road to actually just move one unit, just have the instrument. So much of the time, if I've got a synthesizer, I've got to remember my headphones, or I've got to find something else to listen to the sound through. With this, yes, I could use headphones if I wanted to, but to have speakers is great as well.
So great for the touring musician, recalling the sounds like the previous models, but actually that sort of higher quality of sound and the ability to manipulate.
Yeah, lots more control. And again, if you're into performing, maybe if you're studying for perhaps a keyboard exam or performance exam and thinking, well, will this be good enough? Well, absolutely, yes, it will. One of the great things about this is you can plug in pedals, so a sustain pedal and an expression pedal as well. And expression pedals are something that all colleges now require you to use if you want to use the keyboard for an exam.
I've got the CTS 1000V here and we've got the CTS 500 here. They look very similar. There's only sort of slight differences in terms of the colour.
Yeah.
But they do appeal to very different niches, don't they?
Yes, they do. So the CTS 1000V, of course, the main thing with that is the vocal synthesis, which is unique, really, not only to that keyboard, but pretty much to any keyboard. So if you want to, use that element in your playing and your creating, then that's obviously the one to go for. But if you're looking at that thinking, well, you know what, I really like the live controllers, I really like the effects on it, I like all the other instrumental tones, but no, maybe I don't want to use the vocal synthesis so much, then the CTS 500 is probably the answer, because it's exactly the same. It's got the same number of instrument tones as the 1000V. It's got the same live controllers. We've got the same connectivity. We've also got, all the same recording functions as well. But with this, obviously we've taken out the vocal synthesis and replaced it with two buttons here that are very useful. The most useful button for me is the active DSP button, because, you know, we talked in other videos about how with this keyboard, it's all about the effects, it's all about the level of editing that you can do. And this button gets you straight into that. So with active DSP, you're straight into the, you know, creating your own tones. So there's a much more of an instrumental focus with the 500.
So we've looked at 6 different models within the CTS series, but I know there are some other models, so quite who would want to go for those?
Yeah, you're right. So there are others available, and we have an LKS series of keyboards. Now they are very, very similar to CTS, with one important difference, and that is that on an LKS keyboard, the keys light up. So these are really good. If you want to buy a keyboard to teach yourself to play, an LKS keyboard would really help you, because basically it shows you which key to play. There's in the keyboard lots of different songs to learn, and you can learn each one note by note, and it will show you which one to play as it lights up. So they're useful.
So you mentioned the S250, the LKS 250.
Yeah.
So which keyboard sort of specification would that line up with?
So we've got, you're right, 2 in the LKS series. We've got LKS 250. That's exactly the same as a CTS 300. So the keys are touch sensitive. It's got the same number of sounds and styles, but the LKS series has more songs for you to learn for the keyboard to show you how to play. We've got an LKS 450, and the LKS 450 is the same pretty much as a CTS 400, except it's got extra songs to learn, and of course the keys light up. So that's the only 2 that we've got in the LKS series. There is also a CTS 1, which is proving really popular right now. It's got the same sound quality as our higher range CTS keyboards. So we've taken the sound chip out of a CTS 400, and we've put it into a keyboard that's very, very straightforward. It doesn't have a screen. It has basically a series of buttons, and each button is a different piano-related sound. So this is really good for people that are buying a keyboard and they just want to learn to play piano style.
As you can see, we have got a lot of different Casiotone keyboards here. So we hope that this video has helped you to decide whereabouts within the Casiotone family your needs sit. So thank you to Dr. Chris for coming and joining us.
You're welcome.
So if you've liked the video, please click like, please subscribe to the channel and leave any comments below. Thanks for watching.